What's up, YouTube? Guy in the back seat doing other games. So I was looking over Astral Pack 3 and noticed this little guy here. Now, a lot of you may not be as excited as me that we are getting this card. Now, it's not for any deck in particular. It's not for anything special, not for some special exceed that would involve Rabbit or some other nonsense. It's literally because this was one of the trendsetters, or at least how the game began. Curtain of the Dark Ones, I was reading some of the trivia on it just because, like some of my friends asked me, you know, why would they give us this piece of crap? Um, it's a collector piece. That's really what it is. Curtain of the Dark Ones has never seen a TCG printing, ever. Along with certain other cards, like if you remember when Yugi's World came out, we got, I think it was Three-Legged Zombie, and Yanmato or some other cards. Those cards had never seen an English printing ever, or a worldwide printing. And a big thing that collectors or like players that have been playing since Dark Ages or back when the game first started, um, the first set of Yu-Gi-Oh hasn't even been fully translated to to English or to TCG ever. Matter of fact, Curtain of the Dark Ones holds the record for the longest gap between a TCG and OCG printing with no reprints. 14 years. Curtain of the Dark Ones was released in Japan in February of 1999. So that was before I was even in, like, that was when I was 9 years old. It's a long time ago. Like I was about 9 or 10 years old at that time. So for this card to be around, then and not even seeing English printing, it made me want to wonder, like, hey, what other cards from the first set of Yu-Gi-Oh ever have yet to be reprinted? Turns out Curtain of the Dark Ones, if they follow through and actually print all of them, won't hold this title for very long. They have been throwing these cards in stuff like Astral Pack and stuff like collector editions and Yugi's World, Joey's World. All that stuff's going to give us cards that we don't have in America yet. Kind of like people are kind of crossing their fingers and hoping that Sixth Sense will come out in Joey's World. The other cards that have yet to be printed worldwide are Hourglass of Life, which actually saw a Japanese reprint more recently, so it might not qualify. Winged Cleaver. Notice all of them are basic little tiny monsters because back then it was pretty much transitioning the Yu-Gi-Oh game from the Bandai version to the official version. Back then it was basically bigger monster beats monster with lower stat, and player that has the most stars in the graveyard wins. Or player that has the most stars loses. Yeah, that's how it worked. Because, like, if you kill the Blue Eyes, then you put 8 stars in your opponent's graveyard, and you would win, because the 8 was just too many to get over. So, like, Wing Cleaver was a 7/7, or 700/700, which was not amazing, because Gaia the Fierce Knight and Dark Magician existed, and I think Curse of Dragon, maybe. But, point is like, you look at Hourglass of Courage, and it's, not that good. Same with Curtain of the Dark One, 600/500. I forget. And then there was also like the fact that you had the elemental, spells and stuff like that. But I don't even think traps existed. Anyway, moving on, we have the Dredek. It's spelled Drdek. Some of these I can kind of understand why they didn't get printed right away, but with Konami moving to a more aggressive art style and a prettier art style, they're kind of skirting stuff. Like if you look at Destroyer of Prophecy, he looks like the devil. So I mean, it's not too far-fetched to see them throw out some of these older cards. Honestly, I'd want these just to be able to, play around with them and try to play classic Yu-Gi-Oh. That'd be hilarious. This one's called Tomosaurus, 500/400 Dinosaur Earth, level 2. These cards have yet to see an English printing ever. This one's called La 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 Un. It's a 600/600 Thunder Wind What else? We got the HIT, Hitoden Chuck. Hitoden Chuck. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a starfish. And I think we actually have this card in a different form, but it's not this card. That's why I'm making this video. For the cards that have been forgotten, the cards that nobody even cares about, but collectors do, and players that have been playing since the beginning of the game care about these cards. And this is Fire Reaper, 700, 500, dies easily. And that was also the other thing. You had to have higher attack than their defense. That's all. That's why like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes can clash so well. Like, because Dark Magician has the same attack as Blue Eyes' defense. Blue Eyes can kill Dark Magician easily, but Dark Magician with a spell can beat Blue Eyes. Like, that's the whole theory. Fiend's Hand, another card that's kind of creepy looking, probably not good for kids, which was probably why they never transitioned it. Eye More, this is actually a warrior. Funny. Candle of Fate. This card I always thought was like a dude holding up his hands to try to grab a candle, and then I realized it was a candle. And then the last one is Archfiend's Mirror. Or Archfiend Mirror. I can actually see this probably being reprinted just because Archfiends are getting support now. So, I don't know. But point is like, I like to look into the history of the game. I like to look at these cards that literally are just unknown. Nobody even cares about them because, I mean, yeah, this is a video about a whole bunch of level 2 and level 3 normal monsters that have never seen the light of day and probably wouldn't bother anybody if they never saw the light of day. But, tell me your opinions. Do you want Konami to just announce one day, like, we're printing classic old Yu-Gi-Oh pack, and it's going to be exactly how it was back then? Like just not reformat the entire game or any BS like that. Just would you want Konami to just announce like, hey, we're gonna release Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 1? Would you want them to do that? Just every single card from back then, basically be a reprint of Legend of Blue Eyes and all the normal monsters that were printed for the first few sets, but and the basic spells, not field spells. Those were too complicated. Don't worry about those. Anyway, thoughts and opinions, if you guys have any. Either way, get in the back seat, do Miller Games. Have a good night.